Dogs have a strange way of choosing the worst possible moment to do it. You're lying in bed half awake. Your phone light barely glowing in the dark. And suddenly your dog climbs onto your chest and starts licking your face like they've been emotionally preparing for this moment all day. Your forehead. Your nose. Sometimes directly into your eye with shocking precision. Most people laugh and think they are giving kisses. And yes, affection is part of it. But dog psychology researchers say something much deeper may be happening underneath that behavior. Because canine licking behavior isn't just random affection. It may actually be an ancient emotional communication system tied to stress regulation, social bonding, and attachment behavior that existed long before modern dogs ever slept inside human homes. Behavioral neuroscience tells a completely different story. What your dog is doing in that moment may be one of the most emotionally complex bonding behaviors dogs are capable of expressing. And most owners have absolutely no idea. Let's start with the obvious explanation because honestly, it sounds completely reasonable. Dogs lick faces because they love people. Simple. Mystery solved. But here's the problem. If licking were only about affection, dogs wouldn't do it so consistently during emotionally heightened moments. When you come home after being gone. When you're upset. When they are anxious. When you wake up. When tension in the environment changes. Researchers studying dog behavior noticed something important. Licking often appears during moments involving emotional regulation. Not just excitement. And once you notice that pattern, the behavior starts looking very different. Think about it. Your dog has countless ways to show affection. Tail wagging. Leaning against you. Following you from room to room. Sleeping beside you. So why licking specifically? Why direct facial contact? Why repetitive behavior? The answer may lie in canine social psychology. Because in social mammals, repetitive grooming behaviors often reduce tension and reinforce trust within bonded groups. And dogs evolved from animals that depended on social connection for survival. Meaning your dog may not simply be saying, "I like you." They may be saying, "You are emotionally important to me." And that distinction changes everything. In 2013, researchers at the University of Veterinary Medicine Vienna published one of the most influential studies ever conducted on canine attachment behavior. The researchers adapted the strange situation test, originally designed to study emotional attachment between infants and parents. Dogs were placed into unfamiliar rooms while researchers observed behavioral changes when owners entered and exited the environment. And what they found was extraordinary. Dogs consistently treated owners as emotional safety anchors. Stress behaviors dropped significantly when bonded humans were present. Exploration increased. Confidence increased. And physical contact behaviors increased too. Especially proximity-seeking actions like nudging, leaning, pawing, and licking. Later studies from Eötvös Loránd University in Hungary found over 60% of dogs displayed attachment behaviors remarkably similar to human toddlers. That includes distress during separation, calming during reunion, seeking physical reassurance, and repetitive social contact behaviors, including licking. And this is where dog emotions become far deeper than most people realize. Because when your dog licks your face after you come home, they may be performing one of the most fundamental behaviors in attachment psychology. Re-establishing emotional connection after separation. They are not being annoying. They are telling you, "You coming back changed my nervous system." And honestly, that realization changes the emotional meaning of the entire behavior. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because this isn't just psychology. It's chemistry. In 2015, researchers from Asabu University and the University of Tokyo published a groundbreaking study examining oxytocin exchange between dogs and humans. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone. It's associated with trust, emotional attachment, stress reduction, and social safety. Researchers measured oxytocin levels before and after interactions between dogs and owners. And what they found shocked scientists. When dogs and humans engaged in affectionate interaction, especially eye contact and physical closeness, oxytocin increased in both species. Not just humans. Both. Your dog's brain was chemically responding to emotional interaction with you. And then something even more fascinating happened. As oxytocin increased in humans, owners became more affectionate toward their dogs, which increased oxytocin in the dogs even further. A biological feedback loop. An emotional system strengthening attachment in both directions simultaneously. And here's the remarkable part. Wolves raised by humans did not show the same response. This only happens in domesticated dogs. Meaning this emotional neurochemistry specifically evolved between dogs and humans over thousands of years. No other animal relationship works quite like this. Now think about licking behavior specifically. Licking combines physical contact, attention, eye contact, scent exposure, and repetitive soothing movement. All things strongly associated with calming neurochemical release in social mammals. Researchers from Claremont Graduate University also found physical interaction with bonded dogs significantly lowered human cortisol levels, the body's primary stress hormone. Scientists believe similar calming effects may occur in dogs during repetitive social contact behaviors. Meaning your dog licking your face may literally help regulate emotional tension biologically. Not metaphorically. Biochemically. So when did this behavior begin? The answer is basically from the beginning. Long before cities. Before farming. Before written language. Roughly 15,000 years ago, wolves began approaching early human campsites. Not aggressive wolves. The calmer ones. The socially tolerant ones. The wolves capable of reading emotional cues and staying regulated around humans gained access to food and protection. Over generations, humans unintentionally selected for emotional compatibility. Eventually, wolves became dogs. But dogs evolved something unique. Hypersocial attachment toward humans. Modern genetic studies found domestic dogs carry genetic variations linked to increased responsiveness to social bonding and emotional communication, including changes associated with oxytocin sensitivity and attachment behavior. And licking behavior likely emerged from ancient pack communication systems already present in early wolves. Wolf pups lick adult wolves around the mouth during greeting rituals, appeasement behavior, and social bonding interactions. It reduces conflict, strengthens trust, maintains group connection. In other words, your dog licking your face tonight may be rooted in communication patterns older than civilization itself. Archaeological evidence supports this too. A 14,000-year-old burial site discovered in Bonnober Castle, Germany revealed humans buried beside a dog that had survived serious illness through prolonged human care. These weren't just working animals. They were emotionally bonded companions. Family. Which means your dog's licking behavior isn't random modern affection. It's ancient attachment biology surviving into the present day. Now, I want to tell you about a study that almost nobody talks about because the findings seem strange at first. Researchers studying repetitive licking behaviors in dogs found that licking often increased during stressful or uncertain situations. Veterinary behaviorists observed dogs licking owners more frequently after mild social tension, unfamiliar environments, or changes in routine. And yet owners consistently interpreted the behavior as simple affection. How is that possible? Because emotional soothing and affection often overlap biologically. Humans do this too. We hug people when stressed, hold hands during anxiety, touch loved ones during uncertainty. Physical connection regulates the nervous system. And this is where it gets deep. Maybe your dog isn't just giving kisses. Maybe they are trying to create emotional stability through social contact. Maybe licking is less about greeting behavior and more about emotional reassurance, which completely changes the way the behavior feels once you understand it. Recent studies in 2023 and 2024 examining canine-human synchronization discovered something even stranger. Researchers measuring heart rate variability, HRV, found bonded dogs and owners often showed synchronized physiological stress patterns during interaction. Their nervous systems were literally influencing each other. But this only happened within bonded pairs. Strangers showed no meaningful synchronization. This only happens when genuine emotional attachment exists. Think about that for a second. Your dog responds to your emotional state neurologically. Which means when your dog suddenly licks your face after a stressful day, they may actually be reacting to subtle emotional changes in you before you consciously process them yourself. Your dog isn't only reading body language. They may be responding to shifts in breathing, muscle tension, facial expression, cortisol patterns, and emotional energy. And responding with one of the oldest calming behaviors their species has. Social licking. Attachment contact. Emotional regulation through connection. Sleeping beside your dog isn't just comforting. Interacting with your dog may actually become a shared neurological experience. There's one last thing I need to tell you. And honestly, it may be the most important part of this video. If your dog suddenly stops licking altogether after years of consistent behavior, don't ignore it. Dogs are creatures of emotional routine. When deeply established social behaviors disappear suddenly, there's usually a reason. Sometimes it's environmental. Stress. Schedule changes. A new home. A new pet. But sometimes it's physical. Dental pain. Neurological issues. Anxiety disorders. Cognitive decline in older dogs. Research estimates canine cognitive dysfunction affects nearly 35% of dogs over age 13. And behavioral changes are often among the earliest signs. Your dog doesn't have language. Behavior is how they communicate emotional and physical changes. So when long-standing emotional rituals suddenly disappear, pay attention. Because sometimes the behaviors we dismiss as cute habits are actually emotional health signals. So the next time your dog climbs onto your chest at 2 a.m. and starts aggressively licking your face while you're trying to sleep, remember what may actually be happening. 15,000 years of evolution. Ancient wolf communication behaviors. A neurochemical bonding system unlike almost any other species relationship on Earth. And a nervous system trying to strengthen emotional connection through physical contact. All pointing toward one extraordinary truth. Your dog may not just be giving kisses. They may be trying to emotionally reconnect with the person who makes them feel safest in the world. And honestly, the science suggests that connection may be calming both of you at the same time. If this changed how you see your dog, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. I want to know. Does your dog gently lick your face? Or act like they're trying to exfoliate your entire soul? And if you want to understand why your dog stares at you while you sleep, the psychology behind that behavior is even stranger than you think.